Thank you, Ovia. What a pleasure to be here. Good morning, everybody. It's my absolute pleasure to take you through something that I'm passionate about, consumers. And I think the most important thing, here are some thought starters that I want to start with you with. First is that volatility and uncertainty is here to stay. I think we need to learn to live in a cyclic economy. Look at what's happened in Afghanistan and its implication on your businesses. When you look at anything that's happening across the world, we are a connected world. And how it impacts you individually and your businesses is amazing. Allow your brains to work for 30 seconds to get that going. This in turn, this volatility and uncertainty in turn has accelerated some behavior shifts. We are also seeing emergence of new cohorts, and we'll talk about them as we go along. Lots we know about our consumers and our industry are changing. Mark the word lots. Some things are therefore changing rapidly, some things don't. Question is this a crisis or could it be an opportunity? How do we win in this new normal? With those thought starters, let me start by looking at what impact on consumer behavior has happened during the last 18 months and what's got accelerated and what are the emerging cohorts that have come on. I'm sure you're aware of most of these issues. Our key shifts that have been triggered by COVID is, of course, the digital channels. Who knows it better than you guys? The use of digital channels. Self-service, do-it-yourself is getting into mainstream as well. The second thing that's happening is there's a new focus on ownership and reduced use of sharing. Now, this was a massive trend till about 18 or 21 months ago, use of sharing. Today, it's seeming to decline. Rising consumption in home has been further strengthened, in fact, gone up dramatically. Increased demand for local regional products and services as people don't travel or move around too much. The newfound importance of privacy and data security, absolutely critical. This has kind of gone up many notches in the last 18 months. Luxury versus necessity. Way back as a young kid, the first lesson that you learn in college in economics, which I did, was the difference between a need and a want. It's back to the same definition, luxury versus necessity. Shattering of brand loyalty. Preference has been driven by value and convenience. People have thought of brands if they're available close to them, the brands that they're used to. Else, it's moving into other areas quite quickly. Of course, the online payments and digital commerce has really taken a very different level. So these are some of the shifts that have been triggered by COVID. There's some emerging cohorts. Mostly we look at them as demographics. Teenagers are people who are seniors in the age group 15 to 70. And I'm calling them teenagers, not teenagers. Seniors and empty nesters. Kids have moved on or are moving on. They are taking on millennial characteristics of consumption like asset light, decent income coupled with healthier active lifestyle. They've started looking at consumption on the digital side quite dramatically. I'm not sure how many people actually focus on teenagers. Gen Z, obviously they are digital natives who have no understanding of the world before smartphones. Women, that demographics has really moved into the workforce, and given work from home, this has accelerated the trend. So if you look at teenagers, Gen Z, and women as cohorts from the demographic lens, geography lens, look at the kind of growths that have come back in rural India. Last week you heard of that. The empowered tier 2, tier 3 consumers, because of this rapid growth and this whole infrastructure progress in small towns, there is no compelling reason to migrate. If you're able to get the products, in the convenience of where you are, and as long as you're getting the money from a work perspective, people obviously don't want to leave home. Therefore, rural and small town India, I think will continue to grow. There are some ways to look at this cohorts also through the behavior on the internet world. Retirees, whose lives haven't really changed as much. but they're spending a lot more time on the digital world. The work from home syndrome, of course, has made a dramatic difference. And every category and every brand is looking at how to cater to the work from home set. People are adjusting, balancing their lives between home and work. The third, of course, are people who have been laid off. They are also is an emerging cohort that seems to be coming out of this internet shopping behavior. And of course, there are people who are going in and coming out. The people who have lived their life the way it's been in the past, not as much, but in spurts, going back, coming in, going back, coming in, but living the life the way it did before anything happened. So these are the four from the cohorts from the internet shopping behavior. The interesting thing here is to look at these cohorts from across the board, not just as demographics, but from shopping behavior and geography. Let's deep dive into some of these trends with examples. I've just put down 10 trends here. You have to connect the dots, and many companies are now beginning to connect these dots and look at creating advantages for themselves. The first is holistic well-being. Focus is shifting from just physical health to overcoming well-being, which is overall well-being rather than just physical health. The experience economy is coming of age. Preventive health is a massive opportunity or a massive trend that's come up of age and accelerated in the last 18 months. Smart and contactless world, technology is driving the next stage of this contact through smart and contactless world across in homes, retail, agriculture, and manufacturing. Green rush, consumers, everything being equal, will prefer products that are green. They will seek products, services, and experiences that will help them alleviate rising eco-shame. This is beginning to emerge and become faster. The whole ESG agenda has really kind of fast-tracked this piece. Privacy. Consumers are now more aware of how their personal data is being exploited. Waste economy. There's nothing called waste. Somebody's waste is somebody's value. This whole concept of, therefore, creating value out of waste is becoming an interesting game to play. Transparency. Like I said, consumers are willing to stay loyal and even pay a premium to buy transparent brands. Honest, transparent brands are beginning to actually create value for themselves. Of course, the Atmanirbhar thought you guys are aware of, and homebody economy. Consumers are forced to work and spend free time at home, are taking to the mainstream. This piece is taking to the mainstream, and therefore has tremendous impact in many of our categories and brands. Let me show you some examples. I won't go through all of them, but show you a few to tell you how brands are exploiting this. Experience economy. Like I said, companies are curating brand experiences for customers, expecting to match the brand lifestyle and social media consumption habits, and launching gamification of platforms to engage and understand consumers better than before. The shoppable luxury videos, the rentable housing, the in-app virtual experiences through escape rooms, the virtual beauty boutiques, and the beauty labs are clear examples of personalization and experience creation of this economy. Preventive health, there's a massive trend. You're aware of this. Consumers are increasingly relying on technology to help them maintain their health routines. And brands are foraying into early diagnosis, advanced nutrition, and health routines. Yesterday I was talking to somebody, and it was very interesting to see across the world, medical fraternity. They were telling me that the cost of doing what was early diagnosis or diagnosis, if it was 100 rupees or 100 index, today it's down to 3. There are technologies available on the move, on the go, that can do that early diagnosis. And therefore, the appeal to masses, taking it to the masses at a much lower rate is very much possible. Whether it is, look at the kinds of, the dissolvable drink discs, immune support chewing gums, filter platform, the smart wellness mirrors, health tracker hubs. It's unbelievable the kind of level to which this whole preventive health and how quickly it is accelerated. Smart and contactless world, IoT, data analytics, cloud computing, and AI are driving interactivity in homes, retail, agriculture, and manufacturing. Adoption is on the rise, and autonomous devices are making inroads. Smart shopping carts to autonomous robot deliveries, to scalable supply chain technologies, to bookstores, to no-contact robotic restaurants. It's unbelievable how this smart and contactless world has also moved. Green rush, I talked about this before. Look at Adidas creating a world first with a shoe upper made entirely from recycled ocean plastics and gillettes. Compostable phone cases, biodegradable desktops, 0% beef on McDonald's in Burger King. So I think you are beginning to see one thing for sure. Consumers are clear, everything being equal, they'll prefer something that is sustainable. That's where the world is moving to. Privacy, I talked about this. Consumers are perhaps more aware about how the data and personal data is being used or not used the right way. And they're beginning to understand how corporations are subtly tracking their movements and their interests for furthering this corporation interests and means of production. And tech brands are already catering to consumers' desire for privacy. Data control platforms, smartphones, and anti-tracking smartphone ads, privacy-centric technology features, they're all over the place again. This is going to be one big piece for the future. I mean, I can go on talking about those, but how do you win in this new normal? What do? Some things have changed and some things don't change. And I'll take a few words. VUCA is here for a long time. There's a new word: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. That's the world we live in. But for me, VUCA is not just about volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. The V for VUCA is about vision and hedging. That's the need. The U is about understanding perspectives in the uncertain world. In the complex world, it's about clarity and focus. And in the ambiguous world, it's about agility and speed. So to me, it's about vision, understanding, clarity, and agility in the volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous world. How do you make it happen? There are 5 pillars that can make that happen. First one is innovation. Important to brand growth irrespective. You look at growth irrespective of the situation. And you have to look at how fundamentals don't change. And that's consumer centricity. How do you generate demand in this new normal? Ecosystem play. It's no longer, 1 + 1 is 2. 1 + 1 + 1 is 111. Network thinking in the product world is crucial. Not just looking at product, but solutions through experiences and services through the ecosystem is taking the world by storm. Sustainability, very simple. Ability to sustain, very simple to understand, very difficult to do. Focus on making sure that you are creating an organization which has the ability to sustain for the future is going to be crucial. And of course, this whole world of immersive world through omnichannel, multimedia, etc., is beginning to take center stage. Phygital is the new way of going, and not just physical or digital. The future of growth, according to me, is common, is the same. These are things that have not changed. If you're consumer customer centric, and if you are driving businesses sustainably, and if you look at digital innovation and partnerships as clear enablers, the 2 pillars of consumer customer centricity and driving businesses sustainably are crucial. And everything else, whether it's partnerships, innovation outside and inside out, and digital and analytics, and I look at digital and analytics as 2 different sides of the same coin, are enablers. So in many ways, we have to look at this together and not independent of each other. And therefore, you have to think like a consumer company, irrespective of which company you work for, and operate like a responsible technology company. If you do not consider yourself as a technology company, you are either a creator of data or you're a user of data. You have to think like a technology company. So it is about thinking like a consumer company and operating like, underline the word, responsible technology company. Here is 34 years of my learning in one slide. The first thing for me was a learning that you have to be relevant in her life, day of her life, the red. Faster men believe or understand that they don't take much decisions they will be better off. Most decisions are taken by women and family. So if you're relevant in her life, you'll be relevant for the consumer. Let me take the 6 by 6 by 6 by 4. It's one chart that explains what I'm saying. The first is, think of any decision that you have taken without your 6 senses. Take 10 seconds. Touch, feel, sight, smell, hear, taste. 5 physical and 1 emotional, or a combination of this. Don't waste your time. Spare your 10 seconds. Not one decision that I have seen in my 34 years with anyone who's a consumer or myself personally involves the 6 senses. There are 6 needs. Consumers are very simple. How do I bring out my personality? By looking better. How do I stay healthy? Through eating better, exercising. How do I have a nicer home? Not a paint, not a cement. A home, not a house. A better home. 4th, how do I stay connected? Physically, by traveling, and virtually through mobile phones, or the way we are connected today. 5th need is have fun. How do I spend time? How do I have fun? And 6th is well-being. Well-being has 4 important insights across the world. First, my kid better than me. I haven't found a single parent who says in the world who says, my kids are not as good. It's okay. I'm fine. The extent to which they go could be different, or act could be different. But everybody wishes my kid's better than me. My investment should grow. I haven't found a single guy who says, my investment is going down. It's okay. Do I have a backup for the people I love? That's the 3rd one. Some kind of a backup. And the 4th is, am I respected beyond the work that I do? Do I have a social standing beyond what I'm recognized in the place I live and in the place of work? The 3rd 6 is the 6 technologies. When I asked my parents, they told me they had 6 technologies. Phones, mobile phones was one of them. My grandfather said cars, wheels. At any point of time, 6 technologies are important. The speed of these 6 technologies are getting faster. During my time, 6 technologies which are relevant today are augmented reality, virtual reality, IoT, robotics, 3D printing, cloud computing, and data sensors, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. You guys know it better than anybody else. But the speed at which these change, earlier, if it was once in every 5 years, 10 years, it's now becoming 2 years. So the truth being told, through these combination of 6 senses, 6 needs, and 6 technologies, you can create magic in any business, B2B or B2C. That satisfies the last 4 are 4 business objectives. I haven't found a 5th one yet in 34 years. Either you're enhancing consumer experience for future top line and bottom line. You're building a sustainable business for the future. Fundamentally, top line growth and bottom line contribution. Those are 4 that are relevant from a corporation's perspective. So 6 senses, 6 consumer needs, 6 relevant technologies, reaching to 4 objectives. Remember, provided you are valid and relevant in her life, day of her life. That explains my 34 years. This hasn't changed from the day I joined till today. Here I'm taking an example of data and intelligent data with emotions. Maximizing the value of each connect. This is during, during, and post of a consumer-customer interaction. Critical. Personalization and service is becoming critical. Redefine the business you are in. Virtual consumer service is becoming mainstream. Moving from omni-channel to omnipotent is not just, its convenience is becoming the key. Therefore, think like a consumer and then work your omni-channel experience to become omnipotent. Partnerships and ecosystem play is not just in the data world. It's way beyond the data world. Activate your brand purpose. Ethical and sustainable consumerism is here to stay. The most important thing is about data versus intelligent data. Let me take an example. If I'm buying a bag, assume for a moment I'm buying a bag, and I put it into my shopping cart. If you show me after that 4 other bags which are similar in nature, that's data for the sake of data. If you're, however, showing me accessories for my bag that I've just agreed to buy, that's intelligent data. But data with emotions is if you're trying to understand for whom am I buying the bag? what am I going to do? Where am I taking it? I'll say, I'm thinking of going to a forest. You begin to know a lot more about me and me as a consumer, as a heart that beats, and not just a data that's intelligent. I wanted to show you a video. It's a 1-minute video, but I'm not sure if I have the time. I'm sure if you look at this piece, you'll be able to figure out what this shows. But let me try and show this to you for a second.
You buy a pair of jeans, but it's not the right fit and your size isn't in stock. No problem. This store is fitted out with a virtual shelf. Just select the one you want. Scan with your Tmall app and have it delivered to your home. No need to stand in line at the checkout. Even a pit stop to the ladies' room can be a new retail experience. While you wait, check yourself out in the magic mirror and experiment with new makeup colors, virtually. Like what you see? Buy it from vending machines and freshen up your look. From ladies' room to makeup lounge. The possibilities for new retail are endless once you erase the lines between online and offline and reimagine it based on the way consumers actually want to shop. The key to saving traditional retail is to forget about tradition altogether.
It's just a way of thinking. In summary, what can we do differently? Consumers, and customers at the heart of all our actions. Think ability to sustain in everything that you do for the future. Experiment more, fail small, test small, fail small, and learn as a team. Because if you're not failing, you're not stretching. And learn as a cross-functional team. Work cross-functions. Don't look at just digital. Don't look at just marketing. Future of marketing, future of any business is digital plus that business. But digital guys need to come from right to left. And the guys who are functionally to go from left to right. Cross functions across is the way to look. Implement a rigorous process of innovation and governance. Governance and transparency is crucial for the future. There is a process, there's a method of making it happen. Action outside in your area through partnerships. Don't think you can do it alone. 1 + 1 + 1 is 111, not 3. Remember that everyone in the company, like I said, is a technology company. Every company or every individual has to remind herself or himself of this. You're moving from data, as I said, to intelligent data with emotions. Role of women is critical in the future because humility, integrity, and competence on which they score higher versus men is here to stay. Higher for attitude and values, not just for skill and behavior. In short, think like an entrepreneur rather than an employee. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrijeet, for sharing those wonderful insights from a retailer's perspective. We had a couple of questions, but since we're short on time, we'll take this offline. But definitely, my key takeaway has been the 1 + 1 + 1 rule and 6 × 6 × 6 × 4 rule. Definitely. Nice. And we look forward to the innovative use cases that will enhance our shopping experience.
Thank you, Olga.